And baby, I'm TFC till I die.
Hello, and welcome back to Toronto Till I Die, the Toronto FC fan podcast. I'm Michael Singh, filling in hosting duties for Mikey Newell, who decided to pull the rug on us 10 minutes before the show.
Yeah, it's got to be a record. Has to be a new record. Yeah, he owes us. Absolutely.
No, Mike Newell will potentially be joining us later in the show. But, you know, TFC coming off a disastrous kind of 3-0 victory. You know, if I were to tell you...
Don't say victory. 3-0 victory for Whitecaps.
Sorry, yeah, 3-0 loss. Yeah. If I were to tell you Toronto FC were 0-2 to start the regular season, I don't think anybody would be surprised. But it was the fashion in which they fell to the Vancouver Whitecaps over the weekend that I think has a lot of fans, dare I say, concerned after two matches to start the regular season. So yeah, we'll get into Toronto FC's performance over the weekend, some of our takeaways from that match. We're going to talk some Josh Sargent, of course, because he was officially announced by Toronto FC. He's doing the rounds in the media and will be officially introduced to local media on Wednesday. So very excited to see what Josh Sargent has to say. And of course, Toronto FC have a new signing that's potentially incoming. Yeah. Solid rumor, let's call it, as Tom Bogert reporting that Toronto FC are going to be making an addition. We'll get into that a little bit later in the show. But first, let's start off with, unfortunately, Vancouver. Look, early on, 3-0, big picture, isn't anything encouraging, right? Like, I think the way that match played out, there's very little positives to take away from the entire game. Jeff, let me throw it to you. What was your impression overall of the match and any kind of, 3 to 5 takeaways that you have?
I'm on shaky ground here, Mikey Singh, because I've been accused twice inside a week of being way too negative. So I'm trying to be very, very positive this week. And I don't have anything positive to say. I mean, here we go.
Any positives? Let's start with that.
The second half was better than the first half.
Yeah.
I liked, I wrote them down in my good, bad, and the ugly. Let me just see if it's still around. Yeah, I mean, pissing off Whitecaps fans because we are wearing our white away kit and forced them to wear their blue away kit in their own barn. I thought Robin Fraser's jacket was kind of nice. I dug Raheem's post-game presser. I thought Raheem, that was a breath of fresh air. I thought he was so fiery in that post-game pressure. The away sport, including our man Mike Newell, unbelievable.
100%.
Reminding myself that after this column and this podcast, I can send all memories of this game back to hell where they belong. That's a direct quote from me. What can you say? You saw that lineup drop and you just knew it. I mean, it's about as close to a forfeit as you can put without like waving a white flag to start the match. I don't understand the logic of it, considering the what happened in FC Dallas. That lineup gave me all kinds of harbingers of doom. It was all 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah, I mean, let's go through it a little bit. Let's start with Kobe Franklin, because to me, he was probably the most disappointing player on the pitch. I just feel like we've seen it a little bit more this year than ever, but he seemed very small, like, and it's very noticeable. Like, there are times where, of course, like, he's obviously a smaller player, but he has some of that bite to him and some of that pace and that relentlessness that makes up for the lack of obvious size that he has. But this season, for whatever reason, we're not seeing enough of the battles being won. We're seeing him be exposed a little bit. He's been playing on the right side, he's been playing on the left side, and when you are a player of that stature, like I think you got to have one of two things, and ideally both. Is one, you got to be like really, really, really stocky
Mm,
and like strong and be able to, like I just said, like win those battles. Or B, like you've got to be really smart on the ball.
mm.
And you've got to be able to
That
make
when he
quick
won Player of the Year, when all the supporters groups were things that we were raving about every weekend. Where have they gone?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that wasn't that long ago. That was what, 2, 3 years ago when Kobe Franklin
Mhm.
was TFC's player of the season, let's call it. But yeah, there's not enough going forward. He gives the ball away quite often. It's just not been good enough, I think, for Kobe Franklin. And yeah, Jeremy there saying in the chat that
Yeah.
Kobe has not grown as a pro. Um,
I think he's regressed. I think it's worse than that.
yeah, I mean, look, growth isn't linear.
Fair.
But yeah, we haven't seen enough out of him that I think gives Toronto FC enough confidence to say that yeah, Kobe Franklin has a spot on this team moving forward. And look, it's his contract's up at the end of the season. It's a kind of a crucial year for a guy
Yeah.
like Kobe Franklin. And if you know, if he doesn't kind of show a bit more promise here, the
Writing's
rest of
on
the
the wall.
season, and I'm sure less opportunities. I wouldn't be surprised if realistically, he's looking down at CPL in a year's time, and he's probably trying to find his way again and in a lower league.
What do you think it is? Like, do you think he's being asked to do too much? It's not playing into his skill set. I mean, certainly it wasn't under Robin Fraser that Kobe Franklin had that breakout year. It was under John Herdman. So is it just a mismatch between coaches? I mean, we can't say that Robin Fraser doesn't trust him. He trotted him out both times, like to the horror of the entire fan base. So like, I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kobe, it's it's what I kind of just described. Like, I don't think he's
Mm,
showing enough confidence on the ball, and like it does seem like he's wasting a lot of opportunities on the ball and not really showing any kind of remorse about
mm.
doing so. And that's the sign I always look for from afar is like, okay, you give
That's
the
an
ball away,
interesting
like
take.
what's your reaction to
Well,
doing
would you
so?
prefer the Malik Henry? I'm just going to headbutt you like directly after and get the dumbest yellow card in the world, like he did FC Dallas. Like that was like I wouldn't get that yellow card, and I'm mad all the time.
I actually don't even know what you're talking about.
Malik Henry, the FC Dallas game last week, he got dispossessed. I think it was in the first half, maybe 25th, 26th minute, and then
Okay.
immediately went after the guy that took the ball off him and just tackled him from behind in full view of the referee and got himself a nice little yellow card.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's more so like just body language,
Mm.
like be frustrated with yourself that you gave the ball away, or like it doesn't seem like it phases him. It seems like he's okay, like he thinks that's the right play that was made.
Maybe
And
he's in hell. Like, I mean, and so like his internal monologue is enough to like to not show anything. I don't know.
yeah. Anyways, all that to say is, look, it's been a rough go for Kobe, I think, to start the
Mm,
season. That is like he still is a very young player for TFC. But like I said, it's a contract year coming up. He's got to start showing more promise.
yeah.
Other one is Kosi Thompson's getting a lot of heat for his performance at center back. Look, Kosi is like not a center back, right? He's being asked to kind of fill a void that needed to be filled because there was not really too many other options. Like the alternatives are playing Lazar Stefanovic or Adam Perlman and giving them shots. But I think Kosi also showed enough in preseason where it's like, okay, Kosi can be a replacement level player at that position. But clearly, but the chemistry between him and Walker Zimmerman just hasn't kind of worked out to begin the season. I think there could be opportunity for Kobe to fill in at right back at times because we just mentioned like Kobe's kind of struggling there. Richie's
Mm,
being asked to play a couple different positions to start the season. Obviously, with Theo Corbeanu having surgery, and we don't know exactly what his timeline is, but I imagine it's going to be not short term for Theo Corbeanu, there might be opportunity to push Richie Larea up the pitch and have Kosi pick up some minutes more at right back, where I think he looked a lot more comfortable than at center back. But yeah, I mean, it's clearly not an ideal option. Zane Monlouis came in second half, and they just looked, and Raheem Edwards as well came in left back for Kobe Franklin, just looked so much better. That, again, to your original point, Jeff, you question kind of lineup decisions by Robin Fraser and
100%.
wonder why he needed to try that, almost exact same starting 11 out against the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I just, in what you were saying, like it's a logic pretzel, right? Like, he had a good preseason. Well, did he? Because obviously in that preseason he would have been playing with Walker Zimmerman, right? And then even if he did have a good preseason, it was a disaster against FC Dallas. So why try again versus Vancouver? And then further to this, like, of course, like, we did have Lazar and Adam Perlman on the bench. What are we paying these guys for? You know what I mean? Like, if we're not giving them minutes, even the second half, like when we're already down 3-0, why are they still there? Like, why are they not getting garbage minutes? It boggles the mind. That's my chief issue with this game. And I said it way more eloquently in a tweet, is I would have been fine with this scoreline if we had thrown out an aggressive lineup, EA Sports up top, Raheem Sterling starting, Walker Zimmerman playing with somebody else. And if we had, Raheem Edwards. Then if we had, isn't Raheem like a minute away from retirement anyway? Let's get him. No, but like, seriously, I would have been just fine. But to lose with that lineup when I think everybody and their mother kind of knew that we were going to lose with that lineup is the most frustrating thing. And then the lack of really like, why is EA Sports getting a 10-minute cameo? He looked better in that 10 minutes than Derek Etienne Jr. has looked in 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, this one kills me. Like, I don't understand the love for Derek Etienne Jr. at all. It's so frustrating watching him do his fake pressing.
He's the most frustrating player ever. It's insane.
It's the Lorenzo Insigne classic, where like you kind of jog towards the player, but you're not actually applying pressure, or like, he moves a lot, sure, and he has some talent, like, offensively, and you can clearly tell he has some skill. But man, like, he doesn't give you, it's a whole lot of nothing for a long period of time. And I don't know the reason why Emilio wasn't integrated earlier in that match. Like, having Derek Etienne Jr. tried out there for 80 something minutes was super, super frustrating, I think, for a lot of people to watch. Obviously, good news is they have Josh Sargent arriving. Emilio seems to be getting a little bit more fit, and that's probably the reason. Also, you're down 3-0, so do you really want to risk, maybe some injury on turf to a player who isn't, 1,000% fit? So maybe that's part of the reason. But like, if Derek Etienne Jr. starts again next game, like, I think we got to seriously ask some questions about what's being seen up top, because it's just, he's not giving, I think, fans kind of what they need right now, or the team and the club, more importantly, what they need right now up top.
Yeah, I mean, like, what are your, like, I've been saying a lot about the lineup. Were you as equally as confused as I was when you saw it drop?
No, I wasn't, because I wasn't as harsh for their performance against Dallas. I think a lot of people were. I think they showed, some promise offensively. Defensively, it was kind of bizarre moments that cost them goals against FC Dallas.
Okay.
So I wasn't as surprised. I was surprised to see Kobe in there. I thought it was an easy decision to start Raheem Edwards ahead of Kobe to start that game, especially as a more natural left back. But other than that, I wasn't entirely shocked, just because, again, I think they had a positive preseason. A lot of the guys did trot out, and I don't think Dallas was that bad. But look, Vancouver is, it's kind of funny how the tides have just completely shifted, right? Vancouver went to MLS Cup final. They've turned into sort of this favorite in Major League Soccer. They continue to add to their team and build it, for the most part. Like, I guess not for the most part, but definitely some like organic pieces into that team. And this is all without Ryan Gold either. by the way,
Yeah.
who's been a significant time for Vancouver over the last 8 or so months. So
Yeah.
yeah, they look good, and
They do indeed.
I would love if Mikey Newell was here. I would love to ask him about also that atmosphere because the first time I've really noticed and stood out like Vancouver's fan base. Like they came out, man. They looked like the
They did
supporters
came
are.
out. I mean, they kind of remind me a little bit of Fulham, like a bit posh where it's okay to sit, but I wonder where the camera angles were. Mikey Newell managed to find every BMO logo in that place quite by accident every time he did a shout out. But yeah, if you were following his travel log, he obviously had a great time and had a lot of nice sweaters. That being said, yeah, I mean, I can't get over just the cautiousness of it, right? Like now we're 2 games behind the 8 ball, two goose eggs. It felt like we were punting that game,
Yeah, yeah. And look, I have one more takeaway from that game, and it's just I think Toronto FC have a goalkeeping problem.
There we go. Okay, let's go.
Look, I think we kind of glossed over it a little bit. Obviously it was a huge talking point leading up to the start of the season. But we kind of glossed over how big of a potential issue this could be. Look, I'm not saying Luka Gavrin's at fault for all of Toronto FC goals. I'm not saying all of them are preventable this season, but you get six shipped past you to start the season. Goalkeeper kind of looks shaky in terms of not necessarily his shot stopping ability, but catching the ball, coming out for the ball at his feet. Several moments where he looks very inexperienced and lacks a little bit of confidence, and it's tough to build that confidence when the in front of you is kind of let's say a wreck. But look, it's it could be a bigger problem than I think we made out to start the season. I don't know if Yarbrough's like a huge upgrade over Gavin at this point.
I mean, I don't know how to answer that because, yeah, I mean, what we've seen so far is atrocious. But like you say, where does the responsibility end? And at the end of the day, he is the last man standing, and you got to judge it on that metric alone, and it's just not good enough. I mean, our goal differential is -6 2 games into the season.
-4.
Right. So whatever. Our goals against is -4, not the differential. Math.
Yeah, goals against minus. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. We've given him 3 goals. Look, again, it's not about the goals that we've given up. It's more so, like I said, it's just overall confidence. Like he's going out for balls and trying to catch them and dropping them. He's completely missing on stuff, which obviously cost them one of the goals last game. It's balls played back to his feet and it looks rushed. His touch is off. It's all of those things that combine that just look, again, just very inexperienced. And I don't think TFC can afford that luxury with what is currently in front of Gavin right now. So, yeah, I mean, Giancarlo here is asking the chat, like, how long is Gavin's leash? Like, how many more games? Probably 2 more games. If he continues playing like this, I'd say you give him Cincinnati. If things don't go well there, you kind of wash it off and say it was a road trip to start the season. Training players. But I think a lot of people within Toronto FC are just eyeing that home opener to ensure that they get things right by that time. Home opener against Michael Bradley's New York Red Bulls, by the way, who look absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. Maybe the most exciting team to watch in the league.
They're so fun to watch.
Yeah,
they're so.
And they're all fetuses. It's crazy. It makes no sense. Like it makes me so mad because we knew he'd be a good coach, and we knew that he'd be able to speak to the youth. I mean, this is the philosopher of football, right? Like we knew it, and we're watching it from the sidelines, and it really hurts. I can't. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. He's playing Red Bull football too, which is not it kind of fits his mold. Like that's kind of who Michael Bradley was, but as a player, but definitely jealous over here at Toronto FC right now. people in the chat asking, how long is Robin Fraser's leash? I don't think we got to get into that right now. I don't think we're there yet to start having those discussions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we haven't seen Josh Sargent even be integrated in this team.
That's the huge domino. Yeah,
a flurry of injuries. Like, I'm really excited too to see Mateus Pereira, TFC's left back that they signed in the offseason. He's been out with a groin injury. He's a TAM level player, so like expectation is quality starter that they can integrate. I think that's a huge problem right now with TFC is they don't have enough quality fullbacks on the roster. Besides Richie Larea, there's no one who is quite clearly starting caliber. So excited to see Mateus Pereira come in, who Robin Fraser, I believe, described earlier in the season as kind of a left-sided Richie Larea. And if there's any kind of truth to that, even if it's like 75% true, Toronto FC will be in an excellent position at both fullbacks. Knock on wood that they stay healthy. So look, there still is a lot of pieces that are being integrated, but yeah, I mean, it's just I think a lot of fans are struggling with the fact that some of the decision making, as we've kind of touched on so far in the show, hasn't really aligned with what I think people are seeing from afar. But maybe there could always be like internal reasons for some of those decision making, specifically any kind of health or fitness issues that we don't know
stuff that we're not privy to 100%.
Exactly.
But the optics are terrible. Are terrible, which is, probably should be the replacement for All for One on the inside of TFC jerseys. The optics are terrible. Like that. But you said it, like, until all these questions are important. How long is Jason Hernandez's leash? How long is Fraser's leash? How long is Gavrin's leash? As long as the leash is basically as long as Josh Sargent will take them. This team's fortunes are really, unfortunately, hinging on another quasi messiah to come and save the season already, which is exactly where we didn't want to be.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I do have one positive actually from Saturday's game. I like Daniel Shalhoub.
He's lost a step. I don't like his crosses. His crosses are a bit hopeful Hail Marys most of the time. Like I don't see him crossing on the floor too often. It's always in the air, and it's like, you're not playing volleyball, buddy. That needs to get better. But in terms of like his first touch, the way he's able to dribble, we haven't had a player like that in a while. It's nice to see him do his thing. Yeah,
he looks very much in control for a lot of the time when he has possession. He's capable of cutting inside and beating people.
Exactly.
He looks sharp and looks honestly more capable of being a threat than really anybody on the pitch at times.
That run of play with Oso and Georgie, that interplay in the FC Dallas game, that beautiful Oso pass to find Georgie, and the way he finished, I think was the nicest we've looked so far this season.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I would say, Shalhoub's cut in a lot of times, has had some decent efforts. I'm really excited to actually see how they look when Josh Sargent gets in to play and combine Georgie, Shalhoub, and Mihalovic. Then you add in potentially Pereira darting up the flank, or Richie on the other side. I think you start to see some of the pieces come together. I do think the loss to Corbinu actually has hurt this team quite a bit. They are missing
definitely
right-sided kind of attacker, and there's no real threat coming down that right side aside from Richie Larea trying to run
100 yards. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Plus the fact that like that, nature abhors a vacuum, and the way that Robin built this team involves a player like Theo that likes to drift. So 100% we're missing him, and I'm really worried because the club has not come out with anything about any kind of schedule for recovery, other than selfies in a hospital gown with like tubes coming out of every orifice. Like, doesn't look good for Theo, man. I'm worried about how long he might be gone for.
Yeah, I never get that. Like, you clearly know rough timeline, like, of how long a player is out after surgery. Like, why not just come out and give like some kind of indication that, hey, it's going to be short term, or hey, it's going to be a few weeks, or hey, it's going to be
this misplaced idea that our opponents care. Like, listen, when we trot Jose Cifuentes out as a right winger, like when he's naturally an 8, I don't think they care about Theo Corbianu's rehab schedule. Like they're going to beat us any which way you like, like they're going to beat us fair and square. So I don't understand it either, but I am quite worried. It does feel like this whole week feels like a pregnant pause because we are waiting for the promised, the Messiah to arrive. I can't think of a better allegory right now. And it's that horrible feeling of, are we going to end up with another Lemon, or is this guy going to come along as advertised and be the rising tide that raises all ships?
Yeah, I mean that's the big question. Obviously, big money being dished out to Josh Sargent. I think we can kind of segue there and put Vancouver behind us. But okay, so Josh Sargent has been speaking to media. He's been talking about how excited he is to come to Toronto. Obviously, biggest reasons, as we know, a lot of family decisions being made. He apparently loves Toronto so far, which, is kind of no surprise to sort of hear from a new player. And obviously he doesn't want to get into some of the Norwich stuff and some of the drama that has kind of gone on. So look, it's not really going to be about what he necessarily says anymore. Like, I think everyone's going to understand that Josh Sargent is here and has embraced the city and is bought into TFC. He signed a deal through 2031, I believe. So this is a long-term commitment from a guy who is 25 years old.
26.
So 26. The TFC are getting Josh Sargent in his prime years. They're getting him for a long period of time, and it's huge expectations, as you kind of alluded to. So let's see how he kind of gets integrated this week. Again, Wednesday he will be introduced to media, and on Sunday, potentially when TFC face FC Cincinnati, there is a possibility that Josh Sargent makes his debut. But we'll learn more from Rob and Fraser as the week progresses.
This is a good question. Here, let's predict it. Do you think he starts, or do you think he comes off the bench for the second half?
If he's available, I would say that he comes off the bench. He comes off the bench. So I think
I agree with you. Like Robin Fraser, based on his lineups and his substitution patterns over the last 2 games, is not a guy that's going to start Josh Sargent on his debut. It's just, I don't know if it's in his DNA, and that worries me because, Greg Vanney was a guy that would have maybe done it given the circumstances. And so I wonder if our gaffer is a bit too cautious, as evidenced by what we've seen so far this season.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, I think more so like my thought process is he's been training with Norwich as U21s. Obviously he was kind of in season. We don't know what kind of that intensity, what that level's like. We don't know what his kind of training regimen has been. You obviously don't want to take any risks with a player like Josh Sargent, who is going, like you just alluded to, is going to make or break kind of Toronto FC season right now. So that was more so like, okay, let's reel it in and potentially just bring Josh Sargent off the bench.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Josh Sargent, like I said, he'll be introduced to media on Wednesday. So let's see how that goes.
Well, he's already been introduced to the fandom. Did you see the spread? Did you see that introduction video where, I mean, he's gonna put out a restraining order on the club? Like, what was going on with that hotel bed? It was like, welcome to TFC in a 1-bedroom
It was
hotel.
a little bit odd.
It was, and D-Ro and Seba are there. They're like, how you going? Happy birthday. And there's like rose petals on the bed and stuff. It was very, very weird.
Are you gonna leave the room now? Like, do I gotta do? Can I get out?
It was so strange. I was like, he's leaving. He's going to get a restraining order against the club, and that's that. But he actually, in that goal piece, he was like, look at the spread they gave me on the bed. So maybe he really enjoyed the quite odd reception he got from TFC. It's tough. I mean, this is, I can't say it more times. This is exactly where we didn't want to be. This is exactly where we didn't want to be. Another slow start, hoping and waiting for our one day our prince will come. It's so distasteful because we've just been here, and like, of course, that everybody in TFC land is stressed out of their minds because what if it's another Lorenzo? You know, what if this is, yet another example of overpaying for an underproducing asset that we've now signed until, 20 until we're living on Mars, essentially, right? Like
You have
it's
PTSD, man.
well, I
We're having
have
a positive Jeff. We're supposed to have positive Jeffs this show.
God damn it, I'm gonna get lots of angry emails again. I don't know. I like, it sucks to be here. It's like there's no other way I can say it. Like it's our club loves to make us really sad or loves to really play with our emotions, like, and it's crappy that we're here in this situation. I mean, well, what do you think? What do you think? Like, how are you feeling? Being here and
Yeah, I mean, look, as a number 9 coming in, you can be a difference maker. You have that potential. MLS has changed though. It's no longer going to be one player that is able to kind of Javinko it and do everything themselves. But Josh Sargent brings a quality that Toronto FC have never really had aside from the Josie years at that number 9 position. And even then, like even the Josie years, like you're talking about a player who could potentially even be more highly rated than Josie Altidore was. Like I said, like speaking of people who cover the league on a daily basis, they said
They
Josh
love him.
Sargent was the best player in the championship for long periods of time. So like he does add an extra bit of quality, but when you look at Toronto FC on Saturday, like there wasn't much created up top. Like you got to be able to get the ball to Josh Sargent in dangerous areas for him to be able to be his best. Like he's not a guy who's going to take 1, 2, 3 players on and do it all himself. Like he is a guy that can be efficient and can create sort of a little bit of something out of nothing if you get him the ball in those right areas. Like a great finisher, going to be relentless, but like he needs some chances created for him, and I think there's a lot of other areas you got to address on the pitch to be able to kind of make that happen.
So here's a question: have we actually seen Robin Fraser's ID? Well, I mean, I can answer that question, but have we actually seen Robin Fraser's 2026 TFC yet? Considering that they've been playing without the head of the snake for 2 games, and maybe all the tactics and all of these recruitments and everything else don't really come together until we have somebody capable at the head of the spear.
It's a good question.
Thank you.
I think we've seen glimpses of it. Is it fair to say that we've seen Robin Fraser's TFC in 2026? Probably not, just because of you're kind of slotting makeshift players into these positions. In terms of Kosi, in terms of Kobe that we talked about, even just on the right side, like trying to find there are times Alonso Cuello is playing freaking right back for TFC.
Let's not talk. I mean, he has not been covering himself in glory this year. He's had
I mean, look, it's kind of like that Kosi dilemma. Yeah, he had a rough first game, but it's also kind of like that Kosi dilemma too, where it's like they're playing him in positions he's not naturally accustomed to, and you're asking, to him to do different things he hasn't done in the past, and it's tough. It's tough to put him in that position. Look, if TFC, like I said, if they can get Pereira back, if they can integrate their new center back, which we'll discuss right after this, if they can get Josh Sargent on the field, all of a sudden you're talking about a more stable lineup that can give you more and that can allow you to create more chances for.
In fact, as evidenced by the complete 180 that we noticed in the Vancouver game once we subbed in Monlouis and Raheem Edwards. Like the team looked like an entirely different proposition. So imagine starting that way. That's 100% fair.
And Emilio created a better chance than Derek Etienne Jr. had all game.
That was such a nice chance. Oh my God, that shot had some venom on it, and he was like off his balance too. Like I like that kid. I like that kid a lot. I want him to get some more minutes.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be in line too. Okay, so next thing we're going to talk about is Toronto FC have apparently made a move to sign a center back. Tom Bogert reporting that Toronto FC is finalizing a deal to sign Chilean international center back Benjamin Kusevic. he played in the Brazilian league, and kind of notably, he's 29 years old and has 14 caps for Chile, which I think is quite impressive for a player coming over to Major League Soccer. It's a loan deal with a purchase option, the Jason Hernandez special, meaning no long-term commitment. You don't pay the transfer fee on top of his salary for the cap hit, at
You
least
don't
to
have to give
start.
St. Louis $100 million, so that's good.
Yeah, that too. And it does seem like, just based on what we gathered, like he's been a bit of a perennial winner where he's gone, which I think is also
Yeah.
important.
I mean,
So
the scuttlebutt on the internet is that this guy's awesome. You look at any picture of him and you're afraid he's a tank. You know, the thing that I noticed is there's a lot of opinions on the internet that this signing was a panic buy because we've had the 2 games with Kobe and Cozy, and it's just not working. So this was like done in the last 24 hours. Like this guy wasn't a target at all. I wonder if you can give any insight on that.
I mean, I would imagine he's been a target for them, but he was definitely a move that was decided on after Toronto FC's first 2 performances. I
Okay.
think Jason Hernandez and company saw the way that the center back position was playing out. Obviously, someone like Walker Zimmerman, who has had a shaky start to the season, is playing next to a guy like Kosi Thompson, who's not a natural center back. So it has that kind of ripple effect. So you kind of need to shore up that position. Mike Newell's been banging this drum since before the season.
He has.
TFC needed to
Yeah.
bring in another experienced center back. So they go out, they get not just an experienced center back, but I think a really quality starting level center back. And all of a sudden, TFC's back line looks a lot more stable when it's healthy with, let's say, a back four: Richie Larea, Walker Zimmerman, Kusevich, and Mateus Pereira.
Pereira. Yeah. Pereira. You say
Yeah.
tomato.
That's better.
It's a lot better.
And
It's
then
a lot
you
better. I
have,
mean, ignoring the cheesecloth that is Luka Gavrin right now, but that's a lot better in front of him.
100%. And then all of a sudden you have Monlouis and you have Nixon Gomez. Like, we don't know what this backline like really is. Like, they're missing 2 out of 4 starters for this team at least. So
I think we do know that Robin Fraser does not trust Adam Perlman or Lazar Stefanovic under any circumstances. I think we can safely say that.
At this point, yeah, maybe not. It's always tough. Because like you think of people like Kosi and Kobe, and he's giving them chances, and those guys are 23 years old now at this point. And look how they're faring. So what are the odds that a 18-year-old, 19-year-old can step in there and do much better? Will we be just as equally frustrated as we are when watching Kobe and Kosi play, you know?
I can say absolutely not. I think if they had started Laser and Adam and they had been completely undressed, they would have at least gotten the sort of pity points from the fandom. Like, you played the kids. All right. It was an absolute disaster, but you played the kids, you know? I do think that would have been a bigger win than here comes the cozy Kobe, comedy duo again. Do you like juggling? do you guys like ventriloquism? Like, I think that would have been preferable. I also think that Jules Anthony Vilsaint is a pylon if he's not getting any minutes at all.
Well, literally.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to him. I don't know why. Yeah, again, Derek Etienne Jr. has earned so much more love and so much more trust over someone like Vilsaint, but
natural forwards that aren't false nines that are all sizzle no steak. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But like that is a harbing that gives me pause that like there's so many guys on this roster that will never see a minute unless the sky is falling, literally, like that we can say we'll never see a minute of game time kicking a ball in anger. Yeah.
I mean, look, there's 2 ways of looking at it. Like, obviously the first part of it was frustrating, but then the second part of it is it's a good position to be in for Toronto FC now, if you're not having to rely on the 17, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds to be important pieces for your team, because you have some, now bringing in quality veteran talent and
Mhm.
people with pedigree who could potentially slot in and be starters for this team because as much as okay, the play the kids movement like is important to the DNA, I think of Toronto FC, and it should be moving forward just based on the amount of homegrown talent that this club
Mhm.
and organization has. I think it's very obvious that this team needed upgrades, especially at the
Yes.
center back position. And now all of a sudden, like your center back depth looks like Walker Zimmerman and Kusevich and Gomes and Monlouis, and
Mhm.
then it gets down to Stefanovic and Perlman. That's more of a real club than
Unless your name is Stefanovic or Perlman, and you're very, very sad right now, unfortunately.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course, but you also got to earn it too. So there's a balance there.
Mhm.
But I think I like the sign. I think it was one that needed to be made just based off the way the team was kind of showing the first couple of games, and
Agreed.
let's see how Kusevich comes in. But I think it's an exciting one and an important one for TFC that they brought in an important starter for this team and addresses a very clear need. I think.
Do you think Zimmerman, this is Walker Zimmerman now, or this is an outlier and he's rusty?
No, I think this was an outlier. Like he's been put in positions I don't think he's usually been put in. You can see how frustrated he was when he gave away the penalty. Like I
Oh my
think,
God. I could hear him screaming in Toronto.
yeah, I think he'll bounce back. I'm fairly confident in saying that Zimmerman will bounce back. It's tough to really judge a guy when, no offense to the players around him, but they're not like natural kind of center backs or natural players that you're used
Mhm.
to seeing.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay. Did we have a random red of the day?
I
Or
didn't pick one. I think that
all
was
right,
Mike.
so no
I think it
random
was.
red of the day this week.
Mhm. Did you do over-unders? Because I didn't.
No over-unders this week.
So then we're done.
It's gonna be if we're done, it's gonna be a short show.
Mhm.
Like I said, TFC play FC Cincinnati on Sunday night this week. A nice Sunday
They
night.
are 1-1, 1 loss, 1 win.
Yeah,
And
they're probably not
Evander's out indefinitely.
they're probably not the same FC Cincinnati that we've been accustomed to seeing the past couple of seasons, but still going to
Mhm.
be a very tough test for TFC. Another road match to start the year. Uh, TFC need to show up, not just result wise, but just effort level wise,
Yeah.
compete wise. Make sure it's not a complete blowout. Show some more promise going forward. Stabilize that defense a little bit. See if maybe Josh Sargent can get some minutes, and see if
Mhm.
Robin Fraser can make any adjustments from sort of these first two matches that we start. So we start to see
Yep.
a bit more life out of this TFC team.
Do you push the panic button if we come home with 0 points in 3 games?
No, not yet. Oh yeah,
Cool.
I'm not there
I
yet.
like it.
It's
Mr.
early.
Positivity. Do
Yeah,
you push the panic
positivity.
button if we lose to Red Bull on the home debut? Because I can't see us beating that team. I think Michael Bradley's coming in to beat our asses, and he will be very successful at it.
It's so early in the season. Like I'll push the panic button halfway through that homestand if
Okay.
things aren't going well. That
The
homestand's
9-game
gonna,
marathon.
yeah, that's gonna
Cool.
define their season, I think. So they better get bodies back. They better get healthy, and they better get prepped to take on what should be a challenging Cincinnati team, followed by Red Bulls at home for
Mhm.
the home opener. By
Nick
the way, did you
Hagen's gonna
see?
score a header against us 100%. That always happens because he's the best.
Hopefully not. Did you see those people break into BMO? Was that real?
I was about to ask you that question. I was about to ask you that very same question. This is hilarious. I did see it. They're banned for life. They were immediately caught. So yay. What'd you think? What did I think? It looks exactly like I expected it to look. It's a lot of upgrades for the top 1%. You know, they're going to be very happy. Everybody
Yeah.
else is sitting on cold metal, temporary metal bleachers.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that part. Is that what I missed?
No. What is
Well,
you?
I'm
So
so
what?
used to see it because I like as someone in the media and like who was able to access a lot of those places, and I've been to TFC
Mhm.
games in various spots. I've seen all of that before. I was more so looking at the field and what the grounds crew has been kind of irrigating over there with some of the
Oh,
lighting.
really? Wow. Wow. So
I
what was
completely
your
missed the
takeaway
point of the
then?
video.
No. I don't know. I think you maybe had a better point of the video. What was your takeaway then? That the grass looks really nice for March
Yeah,
the 3rd?
it's not that cool to break into BMO Field, I promise you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna watch it again now, and I'll be looking at the grass. So I'll
Yeah.
report back to you. Yeah.
What an idiot.
Very, very green. Predictions? What do you think? I think 2-2 draw. That's what I said when I visited Cincy Soccer Talk.
I got a 1-0 loss.
Oh, look who's here.
I got a 1-0 loss. FC Cincinnati.
Here, let me bring him on. Mikey, we're almost done, buddy.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us, buddy.
What an evening. What an evening.
What a turtleneck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Oh, man. Don't lock yourself out of your house.
Ooh. Yikes.
Yeah. Try not to do that, Mike.
Yeah.
It's never
I try not
to.
to. I try not to.
Yeah.
So I've been around, but like, who wants to see me on a dark porch,
I think we need to kind of hold on. We need to unpack this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
How did you lock yourself out of your house? What happened?
Yeah, so it does have to do with the trip to Vancouver. So I got back last night, unpacked all my stuff and thought, I at some point unpacked my keys and put them in my usual spot. And then I was running behind this morning and went off to work with just the thought of automatically I always got my keys on me. Like it's good. And I did the pat, you do the 3-person pat. You're like pat, make sure you got all your stuff. Thought I had patted, felt my keys. It was changed, not my keys. And I got on the train. I was heading home. And as I'm pulling into the station,
we're never going to find out the end of this story now. I'm very invested. Oh my God. No, I need to know. I need to know what happened.
Apparently locked his internet out too.
Yeah.
The internet got locked out of his house.
Locked himself out of his internet. I mean, maybe we'll just end it. You can tell us what happened next week. Oh wait, here he is. He's back, I think. Nope.
No, he is frozen. So hopefully Mike Newell gets back soon, because I think we don't want to leave the people on a cliffhanger. I think everyone was on the edge of their seat that story.
I mean, we do know that he locked himself out of his house. Like we do know the end. We just don't know the middle, which is like the worst part.
All right, we're just gonna wrap up there.
Mike Newell, amazing.
This is what happens when Mikey Newell leaves us right before the show. Just a complete disaster. But we appreciate everybody showing love, everybody tuning in. Look, we don't want to be talking about TFC after a 3-0 drubbing over Vancouver Whitecaps. But look, there is some positives on the horizon, like we mentioned. New signing coming in, Kusevich. Josh Sargent is yet to make his debut. Pereira, who will feel like a new signing, has yet to step into the side.
And there's always Henry Wingo.
Yeah. Let's not mention that. Emilio's still to be integrated into the team. Shallowy's still getting acclimated. Look, the season is far from lost. So don't lose hope. I'm not there yet as Toronto FC fans. I think there's a lot more to be shown out of this club. And I think I'm hoping that we start to see some of it come Sunday when TFC face FC Cincinnati. But we'll be back next week to chat about that.
Finish the story. We'll chat about Mike locking himself out of his house.
Yeah, we got to get the finish on Mikey Newell's story. Look, if anybody's watching on YouTube, please do us a favor and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Really appreciated it. And once again, really appreciate everyone's lively comments in the chat tonight. Again, not the show we want to be doing this on, but hopefully next week we're back and we're talking about a potential TFC victory. But anyways, for now, on behalf of Jeffrey P. Nesker, on behalf of Mikey Newell, I'm Michael saying thank you very much for tuning in.
Cheers, guys.
And wait, and baby, I'm TFC till I die.